66 million years ago, our world was hit by an extraterrestrial object that ultimately led to the extinction of dinosaurs. But where did that object go? What happened to Asteroid after it wiped out dinosaurs? Join me for this and more in today's episode. The asteroid impact that led to the extinction of dinosaurs is one of the most well-known events in Earth's history. But there's still so much we don't know about it. Like, where did it even come from? We think we have an idea. The asteroid was about 7 miles or 11 kilometers wide and about twice as wide as Chicago is long. It seemed to have come from the constellation of the Big Dog, also known as Canis Major. But what happened to it after it hit Earth? The answer might surprise you. When the asteroid struck, it left behind the Chicxulub crater, named after the town of Chicxulub Pueblo, Mexico, which lies about 100 miles or 160 kilometers east of the crater. At first, scientists thought the asteroid had impacted off the Yucatan Peninsula, but new research says that it actually impacted between Cuba and Mexico. The asteroid's impact unleashed a tsunami that rippled across the Gulf of Mexico. After the asteroid, the Gulf of Mexico dried up, revealing vast plains for the first time. These plains allowed for the formation of mammoth lakes that are still around today, such as Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and Lake Huron. And after the asteroid, North America sat on the edge of the Arctic Circle. But the sun was hotter, the atmosphere thicker, and the seas warmer. Because of all of this, the latitude at which trees could grow shifted farther north. Decades after the impact, parts of North America were covered in tropical rainforests. And then there's Louisiana. According to a study published in June of 2023 in the journal PNAS, Louisiana experienced massive flooding right after the impact. Plants in the area were immediately flooded when water from Lake Pontchartrain rushed inland after the asteroid hit. Water levels rose about 49 feet or 15 meters, and the floodwaters stayed for hundreds or thousands of years. While most of the state was flooded, northwestern Louisiana remained dry, creating a refuge for life, according to Rebecca Rushing, a paleontologist with the Louisiana State Museum who authored the study. It's hard to overstate how much life has changed in Louisiana since the asteroid. The entire state was essentially underwater for hundreds to thousands of years after the impact. And only the northwestern part of the state remained relatively dry. This created a haven for life, a patch of dry land in what was otherwise an inhospitable environment. The impact also caused the Mississippi River to change its course. Before the asteroid, the river flowed into the Gulf of Mexico, but after it, the river was blocked by sediment and water, so it started to flow south toward Lake Pontchartrain instead. But what happened to the asteroid after it made all of this destruction? After the asteroid impact, it didn't really go anywhere. If it were a regular rock, it would have vaporized upon re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. But because it was mostly composed of iron nickel, a large percentage of it survived. The asteroid that struck Earth wasn't just any old space rock. It was rich in iron and nickel, which are very dense. A lot of people think that asteroids are mostly space rocks, but the truth is they're actually mostly metal. This means that the asteroid wasn't completely vaporized when it entered the atmosphere. Instead, it broke up into thousands of fragments. These fragments fell across a large area of the northern hemisphere, with the majority falling in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. The smallest fragments were no bigger than sand grains, while the largest fragments were several stories tall. Some people call these fragments tektites, and they're mainly found in a thin layer of sediment about 180 million years old. Not only did these tektites help mark the spot where the asteroid hit, they also provided clues about where the asteroid came from. Geologists analyzed these tektites using X-ray computed tomography and discovered that they once formed liquid. They also found glassy marbles, which indicated the high temperatures that the asteroid and its fragments withstood. But wait, there's more! The fragmentation of the asteroid also led to the formation of something called ejecta. Ejecta are fragments of rock and soil that are thrown up and away from an object as it impacts a surface. They're common during both meteorite impacts and volcanic eruptions. When the asteroid struck, it also threw up rock and soil into the atmosphere. Some of this material remained in orbit and eventually formed a thin layer of rock about half an inch thick. This layer is now found across England, Scotland, Ireland, and western Norway, providing further evidence of the asteroid's impact. And then there's the Chicxulub crater. The Chicxulub crater is an impact structure whose presence strongly suggests that it was created by the asteroid. It's located on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico and is about 180 kilometers wide. But here's the thing, the asteroid didn't just wipe out all the dinosaurs. It also left behind minerals that are used in electronics, medicines, and food additives. The minerals were created when the asteroid's impact heated the Earth's surface to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1,650 degrees Celsius. This led to the formation of iridium, osmium, ruthenium, and other rare minerals. These minerals can be found in rocks all over the world, and they can be extracted using hydraulic mining. So if you want to thank the asteroid for anything, maybe it's the minerals that it left behind. But what happened to the asteroid after it hit? The asteroid's impact released a tremendous amount of energy, about 100 million times greater than the energy of the bomb that fell on Hiroshima. It also released a large amount of dust and gas into the atmosphere, which blocked the sun and caused global temperatures to plummet. But the asteroid didn't just disappear after the impact. Its remains can be found across the Yucatan Peninsula in the form of ejecta. Ejecta is material that's thrown up and away from an object as it impacts a surface. It's common during both meteorite impacts and volcanic eruptions. In the case of the asteroid impact, ejecta can be found across a large area of the northern hemisphere. Some of the ejecta fell back to Earth as meteorites, while other fragments remain in orbit. In Mexico, about 7 million years after the asteroid struck, tectonic plate movement lifted the ejecta upward, forming a mountain range called the Sierra de las Minas. The mountains are about 2,000 feet or 610 meters high and stretch for about 70 miles or 112 kilometers. In addition to the mountains, ejecta also formed a large circular feature called the Peak Ring. But wait, there's more! The asteroid also triggered a massive landslide in Jamaica. The landslide occurred about 120 miles or 200 kilometers from the impact site and moved about 1.6 billion cubic feet or 45 million cubic meters of rock and soil. The landslide created a lobe-shaped feature called a debris flow. The debris flow still exists today and is about 250 feet or 76 meters high. It's also about 4,900 feet or 1,500 meters long, which makes it the largest landslide ever recorded in Jamaica. But what happened to the asteroid after it triggered the landslide? Well, its impact also caused a massive earthquake. The earthquake occurred about 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers away from the impact site and had a magnitude of 7.8. It was the most powerful earthquake to hit Jamaica in more than 100 years. The earthquake created fissures and fault lines across the island and also triggered a tsunami. The tsunami waves rushed inland and deposited marine fossils along Jamaica's shores. They also rushed inland along Florida's shores, where they deposited marine fossils and eroded vast areas of land. And that's not all. The asteroid also caused a massive change in sea level. The asteroid's impact removed an estimated 200 billion tons of rock and soil from the Yucatan Peninsula. This material clogged the ocean floor, causing sea levels to rise by about 200 feet or 61 meters. The rising sea levels flooded large areas of land and also created new islands. The islands still exist today and are located in the Caribbean Sea. But what happened to the asteroid after it created all of this? Well, it didn't go anywhere. Its remains can be found across the Caribbean in the form of marine fossils. Marine fossils are the preserved remains of marine organisms, and they provide a window into the past. In the case of the asteroid impact, marine fossils provide evidence of the devastation that occurred. The fossils can be found across a large area of the Caribbean, and they include the remains of corals, sponges, and other marine organisms. So, where did the asteroid go after it hit? The asteroid didn't really go anywhere. Its fragments can be found across the northern hemisphere in the form of meteorites. Meteorites are fragments of asteroids that have fallen to Earth, and they provide clues about the asteroid's composition. In the case of the asteroid that struck Earth, analysis of the meteorites revealed that they were mostly composed of iron and nickel. This is surprising because most asteroids are composed of rock. It's possible that the asteroid broke up before it struck Earth, or it could be that the asteroid was once part of a larger asteroid that broke apart. Whatever the case, the asteroid left behind a legacy that still exists today. The asteroid impact that led to the extinction of dinosaurs also led to the formation of mountains, islands, and fossils. It also caused earthquakes, tsunamis, and massive changes in sea level. So while the asteroid may have impacted billions of years ago, its effects can still be felt today. But what do you think? What do you find most interesting about the asteroid that struck Earth? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.